go. We're here with Casten, the traditional chief for Whonnock, Whonnock people, siyem, Casten. And he's going to tell us a bit of information about Whonnock and a little bit history, and also elaborate on his name a bit and what that stands for. And so here he is.
First, I'd like to talk about our connection to the Whonnock and where that stand as a political format and as where we stand today. Okay, when we talk about Whonnock, I want to go back about maybe 1830 when Casten was with his wife, Colosawit. And his wife, Colosawit, was the mother of the grandmother of, what's Papa's name? Taselton. No, not Taselton. Stevenson. Yeah. That's where our names come from, and the names are, what do you call it? It's figured to be high status names, where we don't have a totem pole, but we got a post that explains what our high status is. And that name carries on to today. The names that Hazelton, Cheathamton, Salipton, Casten, and Squalsalem, they were all connected to the Whonnock people. And these names carried on throughout generations, and they're connected to different people that belong onto the reserve of Whonnock. They governed our people. And historically, they governed our people, taught us how to live off the trees, the fishing, right to today, modern day. I don't know what those girls are doing, but they're from the reserve. I know that. Yeah. Anything else you want to know?
Who was Casten? Any history you know about Casten?
Casten was what do you call it? The first cats, the first ceremony cats. That name was, what do you call it? This
Salmon ceremony?
it was the salmon ceremony. I know that, but
it's like a spiritual.
Yeah, you explain to me what spiritual is.
Okay. From the stories that you had shared with me before, he was kind of like a high spiritual man in the area.
Yeah, he was a holy man.
A holy man, yeah.
He was a holy man in regards. He was a leader amongst the people of the Whonnock tribe. And what he did was he took the salmon and he would cook the salmon till all the meat came off. He left that salmon after the bones were taken from the salmon. And he would tell his runner to go down to the river again and cast it onto the river. He did that for 4 days, 4 nights. He would bring it back, put it under his pillow, And then the man would come and say to him, "There's no salmon yet. Well, go back down again and check again, but bring this fish." So he brought this fish down there. When he cast one of his nets and used a spear for the salmon, he noticed that the salmon started rippling through the water. That was the first salmon ceremony that took place around maybe March, maybe February, maybe March, beginning of spring. And that was the first practice that well, you can call him the Indian doctor or the holy man or whatever you want to call him. But anything else you want to know?
Any other questions for siyem xasten? Titish, Whonnock Quinowit.
Did you already do the where Whonnock came? The frogs made many noises. That one.
Oh, the echoing over the frogs. I'm glad you brought that up, because according to the old teachings, the old people, the name Whonnock came from the frogs making an abundance of noise. It was deafening. That's what one of the cheers told a child who was walking through the reserve. And they told him, he asked, how did the name Whonnock came upon your people? And well, they used to come here and there was deafening sounds of frogs at nighttime, and it wasn't quit until daybreak or time that light came out. It's like hearing frogs all around you. That's how the name Whonnock came upon our people. That was said from your ancestors, the cheers, who got the old teachings from the people of Whonnock. That's when the cheers first moved in. The cheers first moved in, and the Siams were right here, and they just gazed upon the cheers, and they, nothing happened. Nothing happened between the cheers and the old Whonnock. That way, when they collaborated, they would like that. That's the way it was. And that's how they got the name. How does a frog make its noise? Oh, oh, oh. A frog makes its noise somehow.
Ribbit.
Yeah, that's more modernized than that.
Modernized ribbit, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the way right there. Yeah. I want to modernize the way we lived as Whonnock people and how we lived. I know Mom knows a lot of this, because if she hadn't had us, we wouldn't have lived. But we were born with as much as we experienced the case of the Whonnock people. We were born to experience these things. Like my sister Rena, I have a story for her. Yeah, there was that. No, she has a lot of history of the Whonnock people, us Whonnock people.
Yeah.
The birthdays were held. I remember, hey, settle down. Oh, sorry. And the birthdays we celebrated, the sweat lodges that came onto the reserve, the spiritual dancing. We continued this on, Mom and Dad, and it wasn't for us that wouldn't have spread along where we know as Quatlan and Catesy.
Neighboring.
Yes. They were at one time called the devil worshippers. The devil worshippers, that's what they called us at that one time. That's evil what they're doing. But we know it's not evil because evil doesn't exist in our language. Yeah, but what else we did was we powwowed. We did things that Dick and Sarah, Gisette, Rena, Mom. We did things like fish. We got a lot of fish. Dad taught us how to fish well. Papa Bob Sr., he taught us how to fish well. He pointed out where we can fish along the river. And
Wasn't there a story about the salmon? Was it the dog salmon? Was that their spawning ground behind our place there in Whonnock?
well, it's one of the spawning grounds, but I don't remember a story going with that. Well, except for two young guys who used to spear fish back there by the name of Christopher and Robert. The dogs used to go with them and fish with them. That was the story. That was. Anyways, we're talking about what we all experienced.